What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And this afternoon, I've got some good information to share with you, especially the new VeVe collectors that are frustrated because you can't seem to get anything on the drops. Actually, this information is good advice for everybody, no matter what your level of collecting experience is. I'm thinking that you will all find that what I'm about to talk about here is something that we don't think about or discuss often enough. And you're going to notice that you are being emotionally manipulated because you can't see what is going on. We can't see through the forest for the trees. So I made a nice little PowerPoint presentation for you. And I'm going to go through these points to help you to realize that there are some things that you're overlooking and a strategy you can use that does not involve getting the drops. All right, let's just jump right in. The first point, I want you to think back and remember the fervor when the last drop that you were participating in, before it started, and you're thinking about that little thingamabopper that you wanted so bad. Maybe it was the flying duckbill platypus monster, and it was ultra rare. And oh man, you were just so excited about the flying duckbill platypus monster. And oh, I've got to have it. It's 90 gems and I don't know what I'll do if I don't get this drop. Remember that feeling and the value that you placed on that flying duckbill platypus monster before the drop. All right. Do you have that feeling in your heart, in your mind? Concentrate on that. What happened after the drop? What was the feeling when you did not get that drop? You were extremely depressed and sad, frustrated that you did not get that item. And it's unfair because the bots are stealing all the items and VeVe is letting the bots run wild and I don't have a fast enough internet connection with a low ping and you're just disgusted, sad, and dejected. Remember that? And remember how shiny and sparkly that flying duckbill platypus monster rare was looking like in the hours after that drop. And remember how you felt when it opened up on the market at 10x the price of the drop. When people are buying it at 800, 900, 1,000 gems and moving up higher and higher and higher. Got that all in your mind? Now, fast forward 2 months later. And that same flying duckbill platypus monster is sitting in the market for 85 gems below retail. And everyone's saying, oh, flying duckbill platypus monster is nothing. It won't hold any future value. It's trash. There's too many of them. It doesn't have the FA tag. It ain't got the FE tag and the ABC tag and all this and that and the other. And it ain't the first one. Well, they got them out there on open sea. So it ain't worth anything. And it sits below retail. But as you sit there and your mind is now on the next drop with the next shiny thing that you've just got to have. Oh man, I've got to have that next thing. It's Rat Boy. Animated Rat Boy, ultra rare. Yeah, I've got to have animated Rat Boy, ultra rare. That's the best item they're ever going to have. And you've forgotten all about the flying duckbill platypus monster. Do you realize that we go through this cycle from every drop to the next? It's the same thing. This is an emotional cycle that does nothing but make money for the company and keep you broke. Because then when you get certain items, you're selling them off for cheap because the next shiny thing, well, by God, you got to have the gems to get it. Meanwhile, people like me stack up on the flying duckbill platypus monsters at below retail while everyone else is saying, oh, those are not worth anything because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Every point that they can come up against it. So then I start to stack. And then I get called, oh, you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. Or people will post on my YouTube videos, why are you stacking those? You got to remember, you got to stack the right things. I remember when I was talking about stacking all those Spider-Man comics that I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 weeks for 11 to 15 gems. And somebody commented, well, you can't just stack anything. You got to stack the good ones. A couple months ago, I was collecting some Spider-Mans, and I picked up one particular one for $11.50, another one for 14 gems, and today it's worth $167. So for all of those people that were criticizing me for stacking up these recent comics, well, come back in 6 months and we'll discuss that. All right, moving right along. So I brought you to the present by taking you through the past. And I've shown you the emotional cycle that you're going through that's keeping you from making money. People forget the values because they chase the new shiny thing. They forget the future value, the potential value, the significance of items. Case in point, Spider-Man Common. Think back in the summer when it was sitting in the market for 30 gems. And what was everybody saying? There's too many. It's worthless. The numbers are too high. Well, Ecomi is flooding the market. Yeah, they flooded the market with too many and it'll never be worth anything. Fast forward and it peaked out at what? 1,600 gems? It's still sitting at, I believe, 720. So remember that point. People quickly forget the value because they're chasing the new shiny thing. And why? It's because you're in your emotions. My wife is a teacher and she is an expert at, what is it called? It's an emotional intelligence field. It's a critical thinking strategy. But she says that when you are in your emotional state, you're not in your executive functioning mind, which is the use of the frontal portion of the brain and your cerebral cortex area that is responsible for logical thinking, analytical thinking. But when we get all whooped into a frenzy over the next drop, our brains become short-circuited and we're not able to think logically. That's when FOMO affects you. Going with the crowd affects you. That's why I'm a contrarian. All right, let's move right along. You, new user, won't be in the negative during the market dips. In other words, let's say you bought that duckbill platypus monster at 900 gems as soon as it opened up in the market. And then during the next market dive, it dips down to 300, 350 gems. And you're saying, I'm in the negative on all my items. Now I got to wait it out because everything is so down. The market is down. And you're in an emotional state and you can't think. But you would not be in that negative situation if you would stop acting impulsively. Because after that drop, your heart's racing and you jump, okay? How do I know? I've been there. I've done that. In fact, I bought that Superwoman. I bought one for 350 gems because it was too early on after the drop. And I bought another one at 250. And I'm going to probably pick up another one here below 200 as the market is dipping. I tell you what, I will one day learn the lesson to not buy anything on the drop the day of. And I thought that that rule went out the window when the lenticulars hit because they went up and they kept going up. But what are they doing now? They're coming right back down. All right. So my rule is don't act impulsively. Patience is the key. If it does do this and just continues to go up, the higher it goes, so does your risk. When you buy into a run on a peak, your risk goes out the window. When you buy when it's laying on the ground in the dog days, like I explain in my technical analysis in the chart videos, your risk is significantly decreased. Okay? Moving right along. This is one I live by. I have yet to see this not come to fruition for me when I'm chasing items. Items that you don't get on drops or that you failed to get because there's too many people buying on the market or it went sky high, they always come back to get you. I remember when the glider came out and I secured one on the drop and tried to do the pay for the gems after the fact, and it didn't work, so I didn't get it. And then I FOMO'd and I bought one, and I think I paid, oh Lord, something like, I think I paid 450 gems, somewhere around there. And then of course the price went down. If I would have waited, I could have gotten it for like $2.99. Well, smartly, I waited till the next market peak, and it did peak. And I think I sold my glider somewhere around 800 gems. And then as it started to come back down, I bought another one. But I got a 3-digit for 420 gems. So I profited on paper about 380 gems. And now the price is still going down. When you think and set a strategy and let those items come back to get you, you can profit. So I FOMO'd at first, but I made up for it because I did let it go on a market cycle peak, and I let it come back. I picked it up again. I could sell it again right now because I'm in the black by 380 gems. It really doesn't matter. And if the market continues to dip, I may consider selling it because it bumped up to 499 here recently, so I might have to let it go. But the point is, they always come back to get you if you wait long enough. Now, that might not count for the Disney Partners statue, or say Secret Rare Spider-Man, but actually it does, because Secret Rare Spider-Man went to 100,000. You have people out there paying 100,000 plus for that item. And what did it do? It dipped down into the high 50,000s. So if someone would have waited, they could have got that for half price, but they were impulsive. And they FOMO'd and they jumped in, okay? So whenever you're chasing them at the top and while they're flying up in that parabolic peak, you're going to get burnt. But if you exercise patience and critical thinking and stay in your executive functioning mind, it'll come back to get you. And if it doesn't, wait for something else, guys. Because honestly, what are these things but a bunch of digits? Do you really think you have an actual Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or an actual Batman fighting the alligator statue or whatever it is? When you boil it down, they're all code, digital code that you are betting on, that's sitting on some address on a server that has your name on it that says you're the owner. So do you really have to have the Secret Rare Spider-Man? You can look at it anytime you want. But go invest your money if you're looking to make money. Go get something else and don't chase that thing just because you're so attached to that graphical representation of a bunch of zeros and ones. That's a whole nother story for another video. Let me move on along. This is my last point. I think that's the last point. Yeah, that's the last point. The contrarian view will always make you a winner. Well, that's what I live by. You might not agree with that, but I have done quite well recently, and guess what? The market dip doesn't bother me, guys. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't make me nervous and upset, boys and girls. 2 reasons. Number 1, because I'm buying the stuff everybody else has forgotten about because there's a ton of stuff out there that's less than retail. And number 2, I know that not only will these things come back to get us, the ones that get out of hand, but I know where we are on the chart and that we go through 4 cycles. Accumulation, where we're laying low on the ground. Consolidation, it bumps up a little bit. Markup, parabolic move, blow off top, and distribution down to the next new base. It happens all the time. So do you really need to worry about, why are these market prices dipping? Let's say it's got to be the FUD going on over in Russia, or it's the government coming up against NFTs, or whatever it is. Do you really need to worry about that? Put the earplugs in and don't listen to it. Just watch the chart, because the charts always go through these same cycles, okay? I hope that really encourages you and helps you out. All right, well, that is the end of my little advice video, and let me know if this was valuable to you, if it helped you as a new user, as a medium level user, or as a power user. Does this make sense? Can you understand now how emotion is your enemy and how you must Stay within your executive functioning mind using logic and reason and critical analysis. I look like Trump. We got to stay in our executive functioning mind. Critical reasoning, logical thinking. It's best. It's very good. It's very appropriate to use critical thinking. I've got to use the best possible advice. There's a lot of great people out there, fantastic people giving great advice on how to think through this tumultuous market. We're going to do great things. It's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. All right? I don't know where I was going. I turned into the Donald. Let me know your thoughts. Let's discuss in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate if you would do that and help out the channel as I'm trying to spend more time and get more traffic so that I can increase the YouTube income to replace the income that I'm stepping away from in working my many other jobs. I got a whole bunch of other jobs, a lot of bills to pay, guys. So, hey, the struggle is real. But anyway, this is Carlton. That is all I've got, and I'm out.